Life is short, brutal, and fleeting. And every second you spend with the wrong people is a second stolen from your destiny. Think about it. How many dreams have been buried because someone surrounded themselves with leeches who drained their energy, mocked their vision, and convinced them to play small? The truth is, people can either be gasoline to your fire or water to your flame. The ones you allow in your circle dictate your mindset, your confidence, and even your future. That's why identifying and removing worthless people isn't cruelty, it's survival. The world doesn't care if you're held back by fake friends, toxic family, or negative influences. You owe it to yourself to cut them off. These are the anchors disguised as companions, the smiles hiding envy, the constant excuses that suffocate ambition. If you tolerate them, you'll inherit their mediocrity. If you eliminate them, you'll unlock your greatness. Painful? Yes. Necessary? Absolutely. Because the path to success requires brutal honesty about who deserves to walk beside you and who must be left behind without hesitation. Every human being radiates energy. Some people walk into a room and the entire atmosphere shifts. Suddenly you feel lighter, stronger, motivated. Others enter and it feels as if a dark cloud has settled over your spirit. They don't have to say much, yet their presence weighs you down, leaving you exhausted after even the shortest conversation. That is the essence of energy. And if you truly want to build a life of power, success, and peace, you must master the art of studying energy, because not everyone you meet deserves a seat in your life. Many of them exist only to take from you what they can, leaving you drained while giving back nothing in return. Think about the times you've left someone's presence feeling smaller than when you arrived. Maybe they laughed at your ambitions disguised as jokes. Maybe they constantly brought their problems but never offered solutions. Maybe they needed you to listen endlessly, but the moment you needed support, they were gone. That isn't friendship. That isn't loyalty. That is parasitism. You are not a savior for those who refuse to save themselves. And you are not an emotional landfill for those who dump negativity on you every single day. When someone's energy subtracts from your life instead of multiplying it, you are carrying a weight that was never yours to bear. The dangerous part is that energy thieves rarely reveal themselves instantly. They come disguised as friends, colleagues, sometimes even family. They may even show affection or praise, but it's laced with envy, manipulation, or control. Over time, you realize that your motivation begins to slip, your goals start to feel distant, and your fire weakens. Not because you've lost your strength, but because you've allowed their energy to invade your spirit. This is why you must become ruthless in observation. Study how you feel when you're around someone. Do you feel sharper, stronger, more alive? Or do you feel drained, heavy, uninspired? The answer tells you everything you need to know. People will argue, but isn't it selfish to cut people off? No, what's selfish is someone using you for their comfort while crushing your growth. What's selfish is someone clinging to you for your positivity, yet never adding any back. What's selfish is keeping people around out of pity while your own soul starves. Cutting people off isn't cruelty. It's respect for your destiny. You cannot build an empire while entertaining anchors. You cannot chase greatness while allowing dead weight to slow you down. The universe doesn't reward victims who keep toxic people around. It rewards warriors who create space for power to enter their lives. When you remove energy-draining people, something extraordinary happens. Clarity. You suddenly see how much time you wasted on meaningless conversations, how much energy was lost trying to please people who never clap for you, and how much potential you still have when freed from invisible chains. It is like breathing fresh air after years of suffocation. And at first, yes, it feels lonely. Cutting ties with those you've known for years will sting, but that pain is temporary. The freedom you gain is permanent. Loneliness is not the enemy. Being surrounded by people who make you feel lonely is. This is why studying energy is one of the most powerful skills you can ever develop. It's not just about identifying others. It's also about accountability to yourself. Because if you allow people to drain you, it means you haven't valued your energy enough. Once you understand that your energy is the foundation of your future, you begin protecting it like gold. You stop answering calls from people who only complain. You stop explaining your vision to people who only criticize. You stop chasing validation from people who could never understand your mission. You stop apologizing for wanting peace over chaos. And instead, you begin to surround yourself with those rare individuals who elevate you, those who clap when you win, challenge you to grow, and bring light instead of shadows. Life is a war, and your energy is your weapon. Every day you wake up with a limited supply of it, and you get to decide who receives it. Give it to dreamers, builders, allies who believe in your mission, and watch how fast your life transforms. But if you waste it on complainers, manipulators, and parasites, don't be surprised when your dreams die before they're born. The difference between a thriving soul and a broken one is not intelligence, money, or luck. It is the discipline of guarding one's energy. So study the people around you. Ask yourself with brutal honesty, who makes me feel alive and who makes me feel drained? Who fuels my fire and who throws water on my ambition? Who celebrates my wins and who secretly resents them? The answers are clear if you're willing to face them. And when you find the ones draining more than they fuel, remove them instantly. Do it without guilt, without hesitation, and without apology, because you cannot climb mountains while chained to those who refuse to leave the valley. Your energy is sacred, your time is precious, and your future is waiting. Never waste it on the worthless. Words are the cheapest currency in the world. Anyone can say anything at any time and it costs them nothing. People will promise you loyalty, swear they believe in your dreams, assure you they'll never betray you, and declare they'll always be there. But reality doesn't operate on words. It operates on actions. Words are air. Actions are concrete. If you want to understand someone's true character, stop listening to what they say and start watching what they do consistently over time. Because consistency reveals truth, not words. It's easy to act right once. Anyone can pretend for a day, a week, even a month. People can disguise themselves when it's convenient. They can play the part when they want something from you. They can speak beautifully to win your trust. But over time, patterns emerge. Consistency always exposes reality. A person's actions, repeated again and again, show you who they really are. If someone claims to respect you but constantly disrespects your boundaries, the truth is in the pattern. If someone swears they support your growth but never shows up when you need them, the truth is in the absence. If someone tells you they're loyal but their behavior changes around others, the truth is in the shift. People can lie with words, but consistency betrays them. The problem is, most people ignore patterns because they want to believe words. We crave reassurance. So when someone feeds us comforting lies, we cling to them instead of facing the pain of reality. You'll hear, "I'm sorry, I'll change," repeated 1,000 times, and you'll want to believe it because the heart is desperate for hope. But if the actions remain the same, the apology is worthless. A true apology is not in words. It is in changed behavior. If you want to measure the value of someone in your life, don't measure it by what they promise. Measure it by what they deliver consistently. Consistency is the clearest form of truth because it doesn't rely on intention, it relies on discipline. A person who truly values you will not need to remind you with words. You will feel it through their actions every single time. They'll show up, they'll protect you when you're not in the room, they'll keep their word without you having to chase them. Meanwhile, someone who only speaks without consistency will leave you in cycles of disappointment. You'll keep waiting for them to finally align their behavior with their words, but it never happens because words were never meant to match actions. They were meant to manipulate perception. This is why you must learn to detach from words and focus solely on consistency. Imagine a person saying, "I support your dreams," but every time you share an idea, they roll their eyes, change the subject, or dismiss it. Their words said one thing, but their actions told the truth. They don't believe in you. Imagine someone saying, "I'm loyal to you," but the moment things get tough, they vanish or even side with others against you. Their consistency told you the truth. They were never loyal. Or consider the friend who always says, "We should meet up soon," yet never makes an effort to actually schedule time. That consistency tells you everything. You are not a priority in their life. When you begin to evaluate people by their actions instead of their words, clarity enters your life. You no longer waste energy deciphering intentions. You simply follow evidence. The truth is always in the pattern, not the promise. And once you see the pattern, you must accept it. Don't make excuses for people who constantly fail you. Don't blind yourself with maybe they'll change when they've shown you repeatedly that they won't. Don't confuse occasional effort with consistency. Anyone can show up once, but only the real ones show up every time. There is also a brutal reality. Consistency applies to you as much as it applies to others. You can say you want success. You can declare you want discipline. You can shout that you want to change your life, but If your daily actions don't reflect it, your words are empty. You want respect? Be consistent in respecting yourself. You want loyalty? Be consistent in showing loyalty. You want progress? Be consistent in daily effort. Consistency is the great equalizer. It doesn't care about excuses, emotions, or intentions. It only measures what is done again and again. So watch people. Observe their habits, their reactions, their patterns. Does their behavior align with what they tell you? Do they keep their word even when it's inconvenient? Do they remain steady? Or do they shift depending on who's watching? Never fall for grand speeches or emotional declarations. Those are tools of persuasion, not truth. Truth reveals itself quietly, steadily over time. You don't need to interrogate people or demand explanations. Just let them act, and their consistency will tell you everything. And when you see the truth, don't ignore it. If someone's consistent behavior shows you disrespect, distance, or dishonesty, believe it. Don't wait for the perfect words that will make it feel better. The words already lied. The actions already spoke. Walk away, because loyalty, love, and respect are never spoken into existence. They are proven daily. Consistency reveals truth, not words. Remember this in friendships, relationships, business, and even with yourself. Don't trust what people say. Trust what they do. Don't rely on promises. Rely on patterns. Words fade into the air, but actions carve into stone. And when the stone is set, you must choose. Will you continue clinging to illusions, or will you embrace the truth that has been staring at you all along? Your future depends on that choice. Loyalty is the rarest currency in the modern world. Everyone claims they have it, but few actually possess it. People will stand beside you when the sun is shining, when life is easy, when you're winning, and when association with you benefits them. They'll cheer for your victories, smile in your presence, and swear they'll never leave. But loyalty isn't measured when things are good. It is tested when the storm arrives. Adversity is the fire that melts the mask, and in that fire, fake allies are exposed for what they truly are. When life is smooth, everyone looks loyal. But the moment you stumble, watch closely. Suddenly, the friends who once called daily disappear. The people who benefited from your energy, your resources, your status will distance themselves because your struggle no longer serves their comfort. Some will even betray you directly, whispering your failures to others, mocking the same dreams they once praised. It's not that adversity creates disloyalty, it simply reveals it. Like shaking a glass of water shows what's inside, hardship exposes the true essence of the people around you. This is why adversity is not just an enemy, it's also a gift. It clears the stage of pretenders. When you hit rock bottom, when your plans collapse, when the world laughs at you, pay close attention to who remains. The ones still standing beside you in silence, the ones offering strength without asking for anything in return, those are your real allies. Loyalty is not shown by words or appearances, but by who chooses to endure the storm with you, even when they have no guarantee of sunshine after. Fake allies, however, will reveal themselves through excuses and distance. They will justify their absence. They'll claim they were busy, or they'll try to minimize your struggle as if it isn't serious. The truth is, they were only loyal to the version of you that benefited them. The moment you became inconvenient, they vanished. That is not loyalty. It's opportunism. And it's better to know who they are sooner than later, because keeping fake allies is more dangerous than having no allies at all. True loyalty, on the other hand, doesn't require perfection from you. Real allies will see your flaws, witness your failures, and still choose to stand with you because they value the bond more than the benefits. They don't need you to win every battle to believe in your war. They don't need your success to justify their presence. They remain even when you can offer them nothing but honesty and trust. And that kind of loyalty is priceless. It cannot be bought, manipulated, or faked. The painful part is that testing loyalty often costs you relationships you thought were permanent. You'll realize people you've known for years were never truly by your side. They were simply nearby. They loved the idea of you, not the reality of you. They wanted the glow of your light, but not the darkness of your struggle. That realization hurts deeply, but it is necessary, because it's better to be surrounded by 3 loyal allies than 30 fake ones. 1 loyal friend is worth more than 100 flattering liars. Adversity should not only be endured, it should be studied. The next time life knocks you down, use it as an audit of your circle. Who called to check on you? Who offered to help without being asked? Who defended you when others criticized? And just as importantly, who mocked, who disappeared, and who pretended to care while secretly celebrating your hardship? Take notes, because those answers reveal the truth. And once you know the truth, act on it. Remove the fake allies immediately. No matter how long you've known them or how comforting their presence once was, holding on to fake loyalty will destroy you faster than facing adversity alone. You must also understand that loyalty flows both ways. If you demand loyalty from others, you must embody it yourself. Don't abandon people when they stumble. Don't only show up when it's convenient. If you want real allies, you must be one. Loyalty isn't about perfection. It's about consistency through imperfection. It's about standing in the shadows with someone until they find the light again. And when you live by that code, you attract those who live by it too. So remember this. When adversity strikes, don't just focus on the struggle itself. Watch the people around you. Hardship isn't only a test of your strength, it's a test of your circle. And when the masks fall off and the truth reveals itself, don't ignore it. Believe what adversity shows you. Fake allies exposed in your darkest hour are a blessing in disguise, because now you know who never deserved a seat at your table. And the ones who remain, the rare, unshakable few, those are the ones worth building with, fighting for, and protecting with everything you have. Loyalty isn't spoken, it's proven. Adversity doesn't lie, it exposes. And when the storm clears, you'll be left with a smaller circle, but a stronger one. That is how you rise, not surrounded by fakes, but strengthened by the unbreakable bond of those who stayed. Life is movement. Everything alive grows, changes, and evolves. Trees stretch toward the sky. Rivers carve deeper paths. Even the seasons transform endlessly. Stagnation is death disguised as comfort. And the same truth applies to relationships. If the people around you are not growing with you, if they are not evolving alongside you, then you are not standing still, you are decaying. Because when you choose growth and they choose stagnation, the distance between you increases until the bond can no longer survive. The harsh reality is that growth demands alignment, and if your circle refuses to rise with you, they will eventually drag you back down. Think of your life as a staircase leading upward. Every step represents discipline, ambition, knowledge, and strength. As you climb, you want those around you climbing too. But if they're content sitting on the steps below, refusing to move, refusing to push, then every attempt you make to rise will be met with resistance. They'll tell you to slow down. They'll question why you're working so hard. They'll mock your hunger, not because you're wrong, but because your growth exposes their comfort. The truth is, people who refuse to grow secretly resent those who do, because it shines a light on their own laziness. The most dangerous relationships are not the openly toxic ones. They are the stagnant ones. The friend who doesn't directly harm you but never improves. The partner who doesn't sabotage you but never encourages progress. The family member who doesn't insult your dreams but never pushes themselves either. Slowly, without realizing it, their lack of growth becomes a weight around your spirit. You start lowering your standards to match theirs. You start laughing at mediocrity instead of rejecting it, and you start mistaking comfort for peace. But peace without growth is just decay in disguise. If you want to measure the value of your circle, don't just look at how they treat you. Look at how they treat themselves. Are they evolving? Are they learning, working, building? Or are they living the same year on repeat, calling it life? Because if someone is unwilling to grow in their own world, they will never truly support growth in yours. They may cheer for you at first, but eventually your evolution will create a gap too wide for comfort. You'll start speaking a different language, one of vision, discipline, and ambition, while they keep repeating the language of excuses, distractions, and comfort. At some point, communication dies, not because of conflict, but because of difference in levels. Growth demands sacrifice, and not everyone is willing to pay that price. You will outgrow certain people, and it will hurt, because they may be people you've loved for years. You'll look at them and remember memories, laughter, and shared struggles, but you'll also realize that holding on to them is holding on to the past. And if you chain yourself to the past, you cannot step into the future. The hardest lesson in growth is understanding that not everyone can come with you. Some people are only meant to be part of your story, not your destiny. This doesn't mean you become arrogant or dismissive. It means you respect your journey enough to protect it. You cannot dim your light to make others comfortable in their darkness. You cannot shrink your ambition just to keep someone by your side. Love without growth becomes a cage, and loyalty without evolution becomes a prison. The people who deserve a seat in your life are the ones who rise with you, challenge you, and force you to sharpen your edge. They're the ones who refuse to let you settle, not the ones who hand you excuses. And don't forget, this principle applies inward as much as outward. You cannot demand growth in others while neglecting your own. If you're not evolving, you're also decaying. Comfort seduces, routine numbs, and before you know it, years pass while nothing changes. Growth requires discipline, courage, and the willingness to abandon parts of yourself that no longer serve you. You must constantly audit not just your circle, but your own habits, mindset, and actions. Are you closer to the person you want to be, or are you clinging to the version of yourself that should have been left behind? Evolution is painful because it requires death. The death of old habits, old excuses, old environments, but it is the only path to life. Measure growth ruthlessly. Ask yourself, are the people I surround myself with pushing me forward or keeping me still? Are we evolving together, feeding each other's fire, or are we quietly decaying together, drowning in routine? The answer is clear when you study patterns. Look at their lives over the last year. What has changed? What has improved? If the answer is nothing, then they are not growing. And if you stay tied to them, neither are you. Growth is not always comfortable, but it is always necessary. And the truth is, relationships that cannot grow together will eventually die, whether you like it or not. You either rise together or break apart. There is no middle ground. So stop clinging to people just because of history. History is behind you. Your destiny is ahead. If someone cannot match your evolution, respect the bond, cherish the memories, and let them go. Because the choice is simple. Evolve together or decay together. And you were not born to decay. You were born to rise. Boundaries are the invisible lines that protect your energy, your peace, and your self-respect. They are the shields that separate who you are from what the world tries to impose on you. Without boundaries, you become a playground for manipulation, a vessel for other people's chaos, and a servant to their desires. The truth is simple. If someone dismisses your boundaries, they are dismissing you. Because boundaries are not about pushing people away. They are about protecting the dignity of your existence. Anyone who refuses to honor them is telling you clearly that they do not value you. The dangerous thing is, people who dismiss boundaries rarely do it openly. They don't always shout, "I don't respect you." Instead, they test your limits little by little. They interrupt when you're speaking, ignore your request, guilt you when you say no, or constantly demand more of your time, money, or energy than you're willing to give. At first, it may seem harmless, but slowly it grows into entitlement. And entitlement is the enemy of respect. Once someone feels entitled to ignore your boundaries, they will never stop taking. They will keep pushing until you are drained, until you are angry at yourself for allowing it, until you no longer recognize who you are. This is why boundaries must be enforced with steel, not paper. People reveal their true nature when you set limits. The ones who truly respect you will adjust, even if it inconveniences them. The ones who only cared about what they could extract from you will resist, argue, and try to guilt trip you into compliance. Their reaction is your answer. Respecting boundaries doesn't require debate, it requires character. If someone argues with your boundaries, what they're really saying is, my comfort matters more than your peace. That is not love, that is not loyalty, that is not friendship, that is selfishness wearing a mask. Many people fear setting boundaries because they don't want to lose relationships. But let's face it, if your relationship cannot survive your self-respect, it was never a relationship worth keeping. Boundaries are not walls to shut people out. They are filters that allow the right people in. The ones who truly care about you will never be offended by your limits. They will appreciate them because they understand that without boundaries, there can be no trust. Only those who benefit from your lack of boundaries will fight against them, and that tells you all you need to know about their intentions. Think about it. When you say no to someone and they immediately try to manipulate you, they're proving they don't value you as a person. They value what they can get from you. Real respect means honoring someone even when it is inconvenient, even when it costs you something. Anyone can claim to care about you when you're giving them everything they want, but the real test comes when you say, this is where I draw the line. That's when true character is revealed. And boundaries are not just about protecting you from others, they're also about protecting your goals, your time, and your future. Every time you let someone cross a boundary, you are sacrificing a piece of your energy that could have been invested in your vision. Boundaries are how you say to the world, I take my life seriously. If you don't enforce them, nobody else will. People will always take as much as you allow. So if you leave the door wide open, don't be surprised when they walk all over you. But here's the most important truth. Setting boundaries is not cruelty. It is self-respect. Too many people confuse kindness with weakness, thinking that being generous means never saying no. That's a lie. True kindness has structure. Real generosity comes from overflow, not depletion. If you allow people to drain you dry, you're not being kind, you're being self-destructive. And no one benefits from a version of you that is exhausted, bitter, and resentful. Boundaries are how you sustain your strength so that when you choose to give, you give from power, not from pain. The people who dismiss your boundaries do not deserve you because they are telling you they don't care about your well-being. They are telling you that their desires outweigh your dignity. And the longer you tolerate it, the more you teach them that your boundaries mean nothing. But when you enforce them firmly, consistently, unapologetically, you set a standard. You teach people how to treat you, and you attract those who value you for who you are, not just for what you provide. It may be hard at first. You may lose people. You may feel guilt. But over time, you'll realize that enforcing boundaries doesn't push away the right people. It only pushes away the wrong ones. The ones who stay are the ones who truly respect you. And respect is the foundation of every lasting bond. Without it, everything else, love, loyalty, friendship, is hollow. So never apologize for having boundaries. Never shrink your limits just to make someone else comfortable. The people who truly care about you will never ask you to, and the people who do ask, the ones who dismiss, ignore, or attack your boundaries, they've already shown you what you need to know. They do not deserve you. Protect your energy, protect your peace, protect your future. Your boundaries are your fortress, and only those who respect them deserve to stand within your walls. At the end of the day, life is not about how many people you know. It's about who truly deserves to walk beside you. You cannot rise if you are chained to those who drain your energy, hide behind words, betray you in adversity, refuse to grow, or dismiss your boundaries. Every second you waste on the wrong people is a second stolen from the destiny you were meant to create. Social pruning is not cruelty, it is discipline. It is the art of choosing your circle with the same precision you choose your future. And when you remove the worthless, you make space for the priceless. Allies who fuel your fire, partners who respect your limits, friends who grow alongside you, and warriors who never abandon you in the storm. The world will test you, break you, and demand your best, and you cannot face it while carrying dead weight. So cut without guilt, prune without hesitation, and protect your path with ruthless clarity. Because your life is too valuable, your time too short, and your mission too great to waste on those who never deserved you. Walk forward lighter, sharper, stronger, surrounded only by those who rise with you.